Let's talk about the hello to healed process, shall we? You've probably heard me talk about this on the Honest Tattooer podcast, on Chats and Tats, on even Eden. And I haven't really broken it down because, well, you haven't joined the community yet. And that's where you get all of the real meat and potatoes of the entire process. So the hello to healed process is going to be everything from the first engagement all the way to the finished product, and then the follow up to ensure that there's client retention on the back end. So my biggest stress is when artists say, I'm going to answer DMs in a week. And then they push it out 2 weeks. Then they push it out 3 weeks. Or it's only when it's convenient. Or they always try to rush to close instead of going through actual like client nurturing sequences, which is the sales process. So what you want to really take into consideration is when somebody follows you, how do you treat that follow? Do you ever reach out to them and say, hey, I just wanted to give you a little gratitude for being on my page. What is it that stood out to you? And then in a secondary message, do you have any questions? Is there something I can help you with? Or are you just here to be able to look at the art that I've been able to produce and see the passion in the product that I create? That's a really good start. Like when we get a following, what do we do with that? There's artists who have a couple hundred followers. There's artists who have a couple 100,000 followers. But they haven't done anything with those individuals because they're only looking at the mass number, not at the individual consumer. So we need to start reaching out to people and not just worrying about the kind of engagement we can get, but the kind of engagement that we can give. So I always strongly recommend follow for a follow and a message. When it comes to people who like the page, as long as they are potential clients, interact with those individuals, even in your own thread. You know what I mean? If they like, go over to their page and like something that you relate to. If they comment back on your thread, and then go and comment on something of theirs. This is not only going to help build your know, like, and trust factor, but it's also going to train the algorithm, the kind of people that you want to see your stuff. The more you engage with other tattoo artists, the more you confuse the shit out of your algorithm, and it will think that you were trying to market to other artists. The biggest problem in the tattoo industry right now is not oversaturation. It's a lack of communication and relationship building with the consumers we wish to work with. So stop making fucking friends in the industry. Save that for the bar or the conventions. All right. You don't need to do it on social media. It's really bad for your business. That's just how it is. Now, moving on. How quickly can we get them into the DMs to start nurturing the lead to go through the sales process of what it is we love about what we do, what it is we love about their presence, and gathering as much data as possible to be able to get them to the process of being able to move them into the consultation stage. Now, with the consultation stage, I always recommend doing it in person. Do not try to close in the DMs. You're going to minimize your ability of having like quality sales closes, and you're going to start thinning out the amount of clients you're getting. So I always recommend Zoom. Zoom is a really good option for consultations because it's convenient as shit for both you and the client. When you do this, you can go through, you can collect data, you can take notes. They can watch you take notes. You can doodle pretty pictures while they're explaining what they want so that they see that you are engaging in the process of and preparing for the potential of them getting a tattoo by you. I always recommend having a deposit link readily available. So on that call, you can just move them straight into the deposit collection and then get them booked in one call. When you do this, they've already got the excitement. They should already like the conversation that they've had with you as long as they are the ideal avatar because you already know what their interests are as an individual. You already know how to communicate with them. So you should be able to lead them into the close pretty quickly. Now, the difference between the sales and the close is the sale is for building trust. When you're going through a sales process, you are allowing them to get to know you. You are being very inquisitive about them. You're asking them a lot of questions. You're gathering a lot of data about their tattoo ideas. This is going to build that level of trust. Most people have a bugaboo with sales, but what they're afraid of is the close. They're afraid to talk numbers. But when you have this as a talk sequence, because you've done it so many times, all of a sudden you can talk numbers and give these people an opportunity to understand what, why, and the value that they get to experience after the fact. So once you get the deposit collected, once you get the date and time set, now you have to think about the marketing strategy from consultation all the way to the actual tattoo process. what I usually recommend, especially if you're out further than a couple weeks, is a three sequence marketing process. So you're going to want to give them the opportunity to change any ideas they had on the consultation. You're going to want to send them a message letting them know you're about to get into the design process. And then you're going to want to do a confirmation email to ensure the fact that they're going to be showing up. Now, you can do email marketing, you can do SMS marketing, you can do DM marketing, but more people are going to respond to SMS than anything else. So this is where your CRM is going to come in valuable, but we'll talk about that later. Once you get them into the chair, they are going to probably be pretty excited about it because that email or SMS marketing sequence was meant to keep their excitement high. So once they get in, it's all about that bedside manner. Did you meet them at the door? Did you offer them a water? Did you have them fill out their paperwork? Did you explain why the paperwork is valuable for not only them, but also for you? Did you get them back, get their carbon on? Were you already prepared with art? All of these things play a huge aspect in the growth of your business and of that client relation at the end. This is big time. This is where it's really important. So when you do this, make sure that you are a logical individual, not an emotional individual, because if you are bringing negative emotion into that experience, it is going to leave a shit stain in the experience that the client gets to walk away with. Now, say for instance, from hello to current stage, you have nailed it. Awesome. All right. You need to make sure that you are documenting these are the stages that I took that produced the best experience for the client from hello to current process, current tattoo product production. From there, you are going to want to go into all of the information, obviously, with how you do your aftercare, what products to be using, yada, yada, yada. 3 weeks later, you're going to want to follow up and make sure that everything is healing well. I usually recommend this is where we set up a time for them to come in for you to get a healed picture of it, to be able to talk about being able to book again for any sort of comb throughs or to refresh the highlights or to add to the tattoo. One thing that I love to do is reach out to individuals and say, I was thinking about your tattoo, and first I wanted to find out how you were healing up, make sure you didn't have any issues with it. I definitely want to be able to get a healed picture of it because I was pumped on the outcome of it when we got done with it. But also, I had a really cool idea for what would really bring this tattoo to life even more. So if you're willing to have that conversation, why don't you swing in? We'll get a healed picture of it, and I can bounce a few ideas off of you that I think is going to make you fall in love with this tattoo even more. After that, now you're creating client retention. Now, the reason this is important is because if executed properly, this is your hello to healed process. If you are not executing this properly, then you are dropping the ball somewhere. Now, in one of the videos to come, I'm going to talk about the value-based income analysis, and this is going to be a huge component of it. This is going to be your standard operating procedure from hello to healed. When you document all the things that you're doing well, all of the things that you may have dropped the ball on, that will give you a good list of all the things to increase your attention into. If you can do a perfect SOP for 3 months straight, you are not only going to build a better reputation, you are going to build a better networking circle, and you are probably going to be able to increase your rates after that 3-month time frame. I never recommend that you increase your rates because you want more money. The only way that you can increase your rates is if you have a surplus of clients and you have high demand around the product and the experience that you provide. But that is the blueprint for your hello to healed process. Again, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to let me know. We will break all of this down for you and help you create it if you come and join the middle tier Skool community with the Force of Focus. These are the things that we love. We love the front and the back end of the business just so that you get the opportunity to do way more of the shit that you love, the tattoo and the client experience, the client interactions. So if you want to do more tattoos, if you want to build a bigger, better business, the Force of Focus was designed for you specifically. So don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. We'll put the Skool link in the bottom of this. Please stay in contact.